Right, hello everyone. We just got done with the London Forum talk, as well as a few hours of merriment and alcohol thereafter. It went well. My talk was shorter than I intended, and in hindsight, as soon as I finished, I was thinking I could have said more about certain things which I didn't bring up. But because it was an impromptu sort of thing, it was, you know, made up on the spot, pretty much, with the exception of a couple of notes. I think I did well. As I was doing it, things seemed smooth and normal and confident. And excuse me, by the way, if I'm a little incoherent. I've had a few drinks this evening with people, but it kind of got to the point where I think, or at the time, I felt like I'd said what I needed to say, and so I said thank you for listening, and that was that. I said no to having people ask questions, simply due to the fact that if people should ask me questions, they should do it through email or some written format where thoughts are more coherently expressed and arguments can be more thoroughly addressed and expressed, as opposed to people rambling in a pub, or not in a pub, but as opposed to people rambling at me and people were, having a few drinks as I was doing things. So I would prefer people, if they have disagreements with me, to express those disagreements in a more concise manner than they otherwise would do verbally and after a few pints, which is, I think, fair enough. It's incredible. After doing the talk and after finishing it, I was realised, shit, I should have said this, I should have said that. Hopefully it will be on YouTube in no time at all. I will try and host it, a copy on my channel, of course, as well as there will be one, I think, on the London Forum YouTube channel. So there you go. I won't spoil what I wanted to say and what I didn't want to say until after it's been uploaded. Then I'll talk about it a little bit if people ask me, and I might do a video just kind of on the topic of talking, of speaking, of orating in that sort of public and assertive sense. This talk was shorter than my Extremist Club talk, but I also feel it was more concise. It was more surgical in a way. I said a lot in a short space of time, and I decided to keep it that way. As soon as I felt like a certain amount of steam had run out, I decided, yeah, that's it, I'm done. When I sat back down, however, after things had finished, I kind of realised, wait, no, I should have mentioned this, I should have mentioned that. This is just typical of me. I always premeditate people disagreeing with what I'm saying, thus I add into my words, and even in written form, but mostly when I speak, I add in little sentences or caveats which diffuse potential arguments before they arise. This is just my way of dealing with arguments. Don't have them. But when I did the London Forum talk just this evening, I felt like at the end of things that was perhaps potential, although at the same time I felt very confident and very strong. I was shaking a little bit. My legs, fucking legs, always the legs. Even the Extremist Club at the start, it was my left leg at the Extremist Club, which was just like shaking. At the London Forum this evening, it was my right leg. So there we go. That's a fun little quip there. But I felt strong, and I didn't feel like anyone was going to argue with me anyway. So but in spite of that, I nevertheless shut down the possibility of people arguing with me by saying no to being asked if I wanted people to ask questions. Don't know if you can hear that police siren. There you go, keep it quiet. I'm just drying some underwear on the radiator here, some socks. But anyway, I kept it short because I didn't want to I didn't want people arguing with me, and me coming across as because if I kept it going and it became less concise, less precise, less direct, then there was obviously the risk of my person becoming less assertive. It's interesting when you're in that environment. You want to be dominating the audience and to be powerful over them. At least it's definitely my perception of things when I'm on the stage, as it was at the Extremist Club. Although I'm calm, I'm authoritative. I am in control. And it isn't a sense of tyranny over the peasants beneath you or anything like that, but in the sense of I'm speaking, you are listening. It's that awareness that the audience is in a passive position and you can do what you like. And that was definitely, it's subconsciously, it's implicitly there when you're doing these sorts of talks, at least when I'm doing these sorts of talks. Because my talks seemingly seem to take the form of a little bit premeditated but mostly improvised at the time, responding to the room, to the environment, to other speakers in a way, which is something I wanted to do but I didn't. With my talk, as I said, when it's uploaded I'll kind of spoiler what I did and didn't want to talk about, but there were other speakers who I wanted to respond to in a way. Mention them, but I didn't do that. But yeah, I mean, thereafter the whole thing, I came back to the hotel, changed back into the kind of more casual clothes, and then went with Jack and other people back to the hotel where the forum was hosted, and had a few drinks, and that went on for a few hours, and here I am. So here you are with this video. I don't know whether I'll put this on my main or secondary channel. I'll probably put it on my main channel, even though it's perhaps a bit meta and a bit informal, but I'll put it on there anyway, with the pretense of the London Forum in square brackets thereafter. But the response to my speech was good. I didn't have anyone bitching, which is good. No one disagreed. That's always a good thing. Well, at least not publicly, at least not to my face. Which is disappointing in a way, but there you go. I'm sure all will be clear once everything is online though, so thank you to everyone that was there. Jack coming down from Scotland, Chris, everyone else. Thank you all for being there and supporting me. Thank you all for listening and watching and all the rest. As usual, it should go without saying, but honestly, it's very interesting that after doing what I've done for the past couple of years, all of a sudden I'm staying in a London hotel, giving speeches in London for an established kind of group, nationalist as they are, as I'm a little differentiated, but it's nevertheless an entryway which I appreciate and I'm honoured to be given.